Despite living in an authoritarian county where the government's super hostile to LGBTQ+ people, professional tennis player Daria Kasatkina from Russia is upfront about her LGBTQ+ identity. Talk about courage. But sadly, she's to deal with some horrible remarks. In this video, we'll talk about how Daria's hitting back at the hostile remarks. Safe to say, she's winning our hearts. Let's get right into it. First up, Kasatkina talks about being gay in the anti-queer world. The tennis star revealed to Russian blogger Vitya Kravchenko that she's dating a woman and finds living in the closet difficult. It feels suffocating and the straights just don't get it. The skater girl Natalia Zabiako is Kasatkina's girlfriend, and the two have shared photos on Instagram. They were super cute, mind you. Additionally, the 25-year-old came out against homophobic attitudes and limitations on LGBTQ+ rights in Russia. In Russia, so many topics are frowned upon, according to Kasatkina. This idea that someone would choose to be gay or become gay is absurd. Being straight is the easiest thing in the world, in my opinion. Seriously, no one would choose to be gay if given the opinion. Why complicate your life, particularly in Russia? What's the purpose? The 2013 passed gay propaganda law in Russia has been used to halt gay pride marches and prosecute LGBTQ right advocates. Russian politics are presently working to expand this law by outlawing both the promotion of LGBTQ+ relationships to both children and adults, and the screening of LGBTQ+ themed movies, which sounds extremely horrible. Next up, heart-wrenching peek into the anti-queer world. Russia and international media outlets became extremely interested in Kasatkina's coming out. It makes us a bit icky because visibility politics can be a shaky arena. So anyway, in an interview with journalist Ksenia Sobchak, the tennis pro reflects on her choice to talk openly about her personal life and acknowledge that she was preparing for the worst. There's nothing sadder than this. She said she was preparing herself for the worst. In light of our mentality, she predicted that it would be dark, and unfortunately for a lot of people it is. However, she was somewhat taken aback by how everything worked out in the end. Quite cool. For her, not everything was as horrible as she believed, and we love this for her. Kasatkina, however, voiced concern that she'd never be safely able to hold her girlfriend's hand in Russia during the interview, which was recorded in Barcelona. "It is difficult to live in a closet. It is meaningless and too difficult," she continued. "The only thing that matters is being at peace with yourself. Screw everyone else." Following up, let's talk about Daria's struggle with self-acceptance. Because of the pressure from society, it took her a long time to accept herself. Even when you start to comprehend something, you still believe there is something wrong with it. By forcing yourself to interact with people you don't want to, you start to self-suppress it. It only makes you feel disgusted and doesn't improve your mood. You then begin to hide while living a second life. Additionally, you eventually stop knowing who you are, and this is exactly what happened to Daria. She said, "Not so long ago, I came to the conclusion that I do not care at all." This is a power move. Coming up, let's talk about the power of visibility. After Russian footballer Katya Karpova came out as gay last month, Kasatkina said she felt motivated, inspired to do the same. By coming out and shedding this weight, Nadia not only helped herself but also others. The French Open semi-finalist Kasatkina said that she thinks it's crucial that influential people set an example for young people who struggle in society and require support. Not to mention, Daria hitting back the hostile remarks is giving us life. The 25-year-old debunked notions that her sexuality has been swayed by Western society, or what some people in Russia refer to as LGBT+ propaganda, after losing in the first round of the US Open. There were no lesbians or gays when she was a child. It had an effect on her. Daria doesn't believe orientation can in any way be promoted. You are either straight or you aren't. She was uninfluenced, yet in the end, she still liked girls. What's super weird is that straight people go around accusing queer people of being obsessed with when they are the ones joking and asking their 8-year-olds if they have a boyfriend-girlfriend. Make it make sense. What's worse is that people in authority share the same mindset. Now, one of the oddest comments made was by Russian lawmaker Byasultan Kamsayev, who said Daria only came out to increase her prospects of maybe changing her nationality. When questioned about the claim, Daria sarcastically added that, yes, she'll be awarded a nationality because she's for girls now. It was unfortunate, of course, that the Russian politicians make such remarks about their citizens, who've done nothing wrong. They are only trying to love their authentic selves. It's fortunate that this is all it takes to ban a person from their own country. Lastly, how did her family take the news and where to from here? According to Kasatkina, she's been out to her family for around 2 years and has always had their complete support. Her companion Natalia, who also spoke with Sobchak, claimed that because of her parents' conservative viewpoints, she had a more difficult time. Kasatkina claims she is fearless about returning home. Although she says she's proud to be Russian, she's willing to consider changing her nationality if it will benefit her tennis career, despite the fact that there's no specific indication to the contrary. Despite the fact that homosexuality is no longer a crime in Russia, LGBTQ+ people nonetheless find it challenging to live there. Numerous anti-LGBTQ ordinances have been adopted in recent years by the administration of Russian President Vladimir Putin. When commentators referred to the LGBTQ+ Olympians as abominations and perverts during the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, Russia's state-sponsored attitude toward LGBTQ+ persons was made clear. And honestly, if she wants to get out of a country that is so homophobic, we get it. She deserves to be happy and safe. Everyone does. And in other news, first up, Emma Raducanu loses to Daria Kasatkina in Ostravia. After losing to 5th seed Daria Kasatkina in the very first round, Emma Raducanu lost interest in Ostrava Open. Talk about being demotivated. In only an hour and 31 minutes, Kasatkina defeated the British #1 to win her first game since August. Even though she lost, the 19-year-old didn't appear to be affected by the left glute injury that prompted her to retire from the Korea Open semi-final match against Yelena Ostapenko on September 24th, so that's definitely a positive for her. Up next, Jack Jablonski thanks LGBTQ athletes who came out before him. Accepting his was a challenge for Jack Jablonski, the former Minnesota high school hockey player whose account of becoming paralyzed on the ice touched many Minnesotans. In an interview with the Star Tribune, the 26-year-old said, "It's been a dark and lonely road for a long time. He felt isolated and as though he had no one to talk to. For him, coming up felt like coming to the point where he's proud and comfortable with who he is and wanting to go forward in his life. He felt it was the right time to put it out there." Jablonski said in his social media posts that he grew up playing sports in a straight and masculine culture. He always felt different, but he suppressed it. This is what minority stress does. He claimed that athletes who came out before him motivated him. Jablonski said that even though he isn't a professional athlete, he's planning on spending his life and career in sports. He couldn't thank enough the brave women and men who came out before him for what they've done to pave the way forward for athletes. Lastly, Honolulu hosts the Gay Bowl 22. For Gay Bowl 22, a National Flag Football League tournament that is announced to be the biggest LGBTQ+ event ever in Hawaii, around 1,000 flag football players are flying into Oahu. The bowl, according to organizers, will bring in millions for the state and give queer athletes in Honolulu unprecedented visibility. Hawaii will be represented in the competition by 4 teams made up of Riptide players. For the tournament at Kapiolani Park, the organizers anticipate 800 participants and approximately 200 additional out-of-town visitors. There will be 12 fields put up, according to Ty Law, the Gay Bowl 22 tournament director. "We wish that people can play sports openly without having to pretend to be someone they're not. It's tragic that many LGBTQ+ people participate in sports but have to hide who they are. This tournament is a perfect opportunity and we appreciate them having it." There's a twist though. Many think the event will bring in money for Oahu and show that the LGBTQ+ community can draw in major corporations. However, players argue that what matters most is the representation and that this is progress. That's it, folks. What are some queer stories that inspire you? Do let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.